I have to do it in a way I've never done it before. On paper, society has very specific expectations for what someone with my resume is capable of doing. But realistically, all of the jobs on my resume have cooked my brain. Hi, I'm Kate. Welcome to Always Tuck and Roll. We discuss life, the universe, and everything through the lens of autism because autistic. It's how I see the world, whether or not I want to. Which, generally speaking, I'm pretty okay with things, perfectly honest. If you're new, thanks for stopping by. Stick around. I get better as I warm up because, this kind of counts as the do one thing every day that scares you aspect of life for me. So just have to, I don't know. It'll percolate better at some point in time. If you are returning, thank you so much. You'll notice new background. Thought maybe, could try to do more than, be on a sand-colored couch with a white wall. Yeah, that couch is actually sand-colored. When we bought it originally, you could get gray, like light gray, or sand. And we initially went with gray, but then changed it to sand because it looks better. And it does seem ridiculous to have like a white couch because couches just get dirty. But we have actually, in this has it been 7 years? Yeah, 7 years since we got that couch. It's still remarkably clean. I'm very, very impressed. But we're not overly destructive, messy eaters, and it's just the two of us, so. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. New location, thought it'd be interesting. So now you can see the corner of a different painting, and my Lego flowers, the only flowers that will ever enter this apartment because I am super allergic to pollen. We have like spider plants, largely. I knocked a succulent over yesterday. I feel pretty bad about that. I kill all of the plants though if I touch them, so that succulent probably isn't long for this world. Did you ever see like a troll in Central Park and the evil witch with the black thumb that just kills everything? That's kind of she's just an evil troll. The movie's weird. Anyway. Changes in attitude, changes in latitude. That's what we're going for. It's, the end of the year, time to think about, I don't do resolutions, and it's only November, and I've never been that proactive about that type of nonsense anyway. But I have been thinking about how the world is constantly changing, and I have been not so great at adapting to all of those changes as of late. I feel like I have been really tired and just behind on everything. And while I don't know if I truly have the energy to suddenly switch to being proactive, maybe just little changes. So moving from my couch to my dining room table that pretty much just has breakfast eaten at it because we definitely will just eat at the coffee table watching MASH. Not that we couldn't do that from the dining room table because it's like one room, but that's neither here nor there. I don't need to start questioning all of my life choices in this very moment. That is a lot to take in and way too easy to digress on, so let's not. The world is constantly in flux right now. I mean, it always has been, but right now it seems like every day is a big swing. And I don't particularly care for that notion. I very much, except life has to constantly change and move and evolve. I do totally get that. It's when there doesn't seem to be a lot of direction right now, everything just seems to be happening and most of it's not good, and most of it creates more uncertainty, so it's hard to create a plan, so it's hard to know how to move forward, or if you've been wanting to move forward. I've also started to take some time to consider like what the future for myself will actually look like. Because I will eventually need to go back to some sort of employment. And I'm not opposed to that. It's taken me a year and a half to even feel like I could say that out loud, because I'm still recovering from burnout and my last job. Like I had dinner with a former coworker 2 weeks ago at this point in time, and like I'm still recovering from just what the memories of that workplace were brought up just by a simple dinner conversation over very tasty pancakes. Because breakfast for dinner is the best dinner. Hills I will die on. And this is from someone who's allergic to cinnamon and just can't have any cinnamon-related foods. But pancakes shouldn't need cinnamon, so we're good. Anyway, so I have, like, I don't know, almost 30 years of work experience at this point in time, which, you know, I should at my age realistically. But here's the thing. If and when I go back into the world, the working world in that way, I have to do it in a way I've never done it before. On paper, society has very specific expectations for what someone with my resume is capable of doing. But realistically, all of the jobs on my resume have cooked my brain. Every single time I have to change jobs, usually it's because I'm going to move. In fact, this state is the one state I've left jobs in and didn't immediately just change my zip code, which is a whole new experience at this stage in life. But, I mean, life's always changing and evolving. So, society's expectations, like, I am a very good administrative assistant. I am a very good secretary. I hate being one, for the record. I hate phone work. It makes me... That's the thing. I shouldn't actually answer phones. I shouldn't make phone calls. It freaks me out. It makes me so uncomfortable. I still have to I still have panic attacks when I have to call people. I don't call anyone I know whether or not I like them because I don't want to call anyone. Like, it's very, very frustrating. And it makes me a really bad friend, too, and I'm sorry for any of my friends that are watching this, though I honestly don't think I've told any of them that I'm doing this, now that I think about it, because I really haven't, like, talked to anyone in, like, a year and a half, because, again, I will always answer when called, but I will never call you. Ever. Though if you've emailed me, I'm sorry, because I definitely have, again, not checked. Like, my personal email I check, but my professional email, this email, I definitely haven't checked in, like, 6 months. I should probably do that today. I know I said that last week, but I still definitely did not do it, because I honestly have no explanation other than it felt like I'd get to it, and I still haven't. So... procrastination, that's your explanation. Here we are. So now, knowing that clerical work, as good as I am at it, it is so mentally unhealthy for me to do. Now I have to figure out how to work in a different environment. So how to not get hooked into yet another clerical role, because I'm tired of burning out every 3 to 5 years. I knew my burnout cycle going into this last job. I didn't know that I was autistic. I didn't know that about autistic burnout at all. I just knew that I had a 3 to 5 year burnout cycle because that is how long I had ever managed to stay anywhere. 3 to 5 years. And it's really frustrating at this point in time because like I've tried to get other jobs. I did not want to go back to clerical work. This was just the only thing I could get hired for routinely. I mean, I used to be a ski instructor and high ropes adventure guide, and that paid terrifyingly low, and you could not live on those salaries. I mean, we're talking like I was 30 years old making $8 an hour teaching, 6-year-olds how to ski. And I believe they get paid more now, but the minimum wage in this country is still $7.25 an hour. And yeah, I was getting paid more than that, but you know what? I was also keeping children alive and not getting hazard pay for the sheer amount of bruises, scrapes, and sprains I got while working there. But here's the other fun thing. I'm not actually physically capable of going back to that type of physical work because I'm losing movement in my hands. I've got nerve issues that I didn't used to have, and I've fallen a lot since the last time I worked in the outdoor field. So I can't go back to that either. I can't go back to any of the work I've previously done, which is super, super fun to try and figure out at 40. Now, here's the fun thing. There actually are organizations out there designed to help individuals with disabilities find and maintain employment. It's called vocational rehabilitation. And at some point in time, I should probably maybe I could do a deep dive. Because I used to work in it. That's what burns me out, working for vocational rehabilitation. So that I'm in this really weird spot right now where I actually can't use my public vocational rehabilitation program, or VR, because I have PTSD from working for them. These were people who, I got my diagnosis while I worked there, and as soon as I got my diagnosis, I started getting treated differently because they will help you get a job as long as it's not with them. And once they know that you have some sort of disability that will affect them or keep you from being perfect, I guess, then you get treated differently. And I was subjected to 9 months of people treating me differently, suddenly after 4 years. So yeah, I left. I mean, I left for lots of reasons. I left because I had to. I left because my mental health was I don't think you could get below the bar my mental health was at that point in time. But also, the way they were treating me was really suspect, to the point where I had union involvement, and if I had had the bandwidth for what the union wanted me to do, there's a potential I never would have needed to work again. But I didn't have that kind of bandwidth, and I wasn't going to stick around collecting evidence for that type of court case. So, now I have to reinvent myself again. I've thought about self-employment. I've thought about lots of things. I don't know if I'm someone who can actually hold themselves to what would need to have for self-employment. And honestly, the best I've come up with for self-employment so far is design t-shirts. You wear a lot of t-shirts, and I do. Though today it's 30 degrees outside, and I'm actually ready to switch into a tank top because I am hot, even though my thermostat is only at 67 and has been for the better part of a week and a half. Sorry, Pete. I know that he's been very cold, but I have been so comfortable in the coolness. But again, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about me not being able to meet society's expectations because life doesn't work that way all the time. So, I have no idea what I'm going to do next. But this has always seemed like a good place to start. I need to not put my elbow on the table. Clearly, I'm just going to shake the camera. New setup. Don't know what my boundaries are. Don't know if I'm going to do it like. Let me know in the comments if this is better than me just sitting on a couch. I don't know that it is. I do know that I can maybe make the lighting in this corner better than I can on the couch, just because it does actually have overhead lighting. It's got track lighting. It's the dining room and the kitchen are the only places that have overhead light in this whole apartment. I'm not going to complain because I hate overhead lighting, but like, it is annoying to not have that option. I didn't even grow up in a house with overhead lighting. I don't know why it bothers me, but yeah, it does seem weird. Anyway, we don't need any of that. So, I'm going to keep brainstorming. I'm going to keep trying to figure out what the next steps should look like while trying to not get lost in the holiday nonsense of it all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Your worth is what you think it is, not what society thinks it is. Just because society thinks you look like you should be able to do something does not mean that that is your exact skill set. So try not to get pigeonholed into things that are actively harmful for yourself. And when all else fails, just don't forget to tuck and roll. Changes in attitude, changes in latitude. That's what we're going for.